Welcome to Subramani. Questions to ask before you invest. Very surprising topic, right? In the sense that I have done many such videos in the past, but this trigger has been because one relationship manager in a big broking company approached me to buy a unlisted share, and he was offering it to me for 71 rupees. Which is not a bad price considering that they did the earlier placement at very close to 110, which included a damn decent margin for the brokerage house. That's fine, suits them. It didn't suit me to buy then at the quantity which they wanted me to buy, so I did not buy. So they approached me now offering to sell it to me at 71. That was great. I said no, thank you. Since I knew the people very close to the promoters, I called up and said, what is the price at which the share is now selling? And the answer was 27 rupees, right? Then I caught the sales guy and said, tell me how much is your incentive on selling this share? So he said it is 10 rupees. 10 rupees was the incentive for selling a share for 71 rupees. So now you know why he was selling it to me, and he got the wrong person, unfortunately. And I said no, and so this video was born, right? So when a person comes to sell you something, there are a few questions to ask. So the first question to ask is, are you licensed to sell, whether it is a mutual fund or a share or a futures and option contract, or how to buy and sell, selling a broking account, selling you mutual funds, selling you licenses. In India, any sales person has to have some degree and some recognition, in the sense that some degree, in the sense some he has to pass some exam. There is a NISM which conducts exam for people to learn about F&O, whether about mutual funds or anything. And similarly, IRDA conducts a 100-hour training and exam for people to sell life insurance products. Banking products don't require any, to sell banking products does not require any degree, but then banking products are very rarely sold by anybody other than the bank itself. So the person who is representing the bank is the person who is telling you. And fortunately or unfortunately, on the fixed deposit receipt itself, you can see everything. You can see the tenor, you can see the rate of interest, you know you have to pay tax on that, right? So everything is visible. Whereas in a mutual fund or in life insurance, which is a endowment plan or anything, you do not know how it will behave over the next 20-30 years. So first of all, ask the person, are you licensed to sell it? Given our great country, the guy who is coming to sell to you or the girl who is coming to sell to you may not be the licensed person. Maybe their spouse is, right? I know one girl who is very successful in doing these sales and the license is in her husband's name. And I know a very successful mutual fund agent who sells and the license is in his wife's name, right? So for taxation purposes or for whatever reasons, people do all that. So find out whether that person himself is licensed to sell that product to you. Second, find out whether the product itself is in a form that it can be sold. If it's a share, it has to be a listed share, not a potential listing, right? So there are bank subsidiaries, one bank subsidiary or a bank NBFC, whose shares have been placed out long ago, I think maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, and there is absolutely no whiff of when the IPO is coming, right? So HDFC Securities, again, shares are available if you want, but it's not listed. So find out whether what is being sold is listed, because if the shares are not listed, then it does not come under the jurisdiction of SEBI also. So because the company will say, I didn't know so and so was selling, that's it. Who is incentivizing him to sell a product which is not yet licensed because it's not yet listed? I'm not saying the transaction is illegal, but the chances of you getting justice if something goes wrong is very close to zero if you buy an unlisted security, right? So, and it's not that unlisted securities is transactions don't happen. I personally bought an unlisted, I have suffered, I have gained, everything has happened, but be careful. If the product itself is not licensed, the person of course will not be licensed, because when he is selling, he is definitely breaking a SEBI rule, so he will not be licensed. But the fact that he is not licensed should not bother you. Of course he is not licensed, the product is also not licensed. Ask that person what are the risks compared to the reward. There are certain investments where the risks are very high and the reward is very low, right? So for example, gold. The risk is like that of equity and the return is like that of debt. So do you want to take that kind of risk to get that kind of a return? That you have to ask, and they will obviously tell you there is no risk. For example, I was approached to buy a product which is now defunct at 12%, and that girl selling it to me said there is no risk, and I said, if there is no risk, why are you paying me 12%? You should be paying 8%, because that at that point in time State Bank of India was paying 8%. So that 8 to 12, that gap, or 12 to 8, that gap is called the risk premium, right? So the risk premium is something with they pay. So you have to find out how much is the risk and how much is the reward, and you have to understand that that extra that is being paid is the risk on your capital. That is why they are paying you. At least you should know, right? You should know what you are buying. Another very important question, which should perhaps come first, I have not put it in any particular sequences: do you understand the investment, or are you impressed by the young boy or girl and you are buying the product just because you are impressed by their looks, by their perfume, by their dress, and you say, it's okay? Because one common ploy I've seen people use this, I've seen a young girl use this, I've seen young boys use this, is to go and tell the CFO, who's a 55-year-old, sir, this is a very complicated product, but I'm sure you will understand. Once you say something like this, that person is just shut up. He does not ask for any more questions, because he does not want to look foolish. He's a 55-year-old, he's CFO of a big company, and this 23-year-old girl is trying to explain to him, so he has to keep quiet and accept the product. Don't do this. If you don't understand, stay away. I don't understand crypto, I stay away. Yes, I can sit and read and learn about it, that I am doing, but I will still not invest. The odds are terribly against me. So now I know about crypto, I know about Bitcoin, but it is not a place where I would put my money, right? That's my choice. So at least do you understand the investment good enough for you to put money into it? If you don't understand, just say no. Another very important question to ask is, where can you turn for help if something goes wrong? Right? If it's a mutual fund, you can go to SEBI. If it is a life insurance product, you can go to IRDA. If it's a banking product, you can go to Reserve Bank of India. Right? You have many regulators in this country, but you should at least know who is the regulator. Now, if you buy a crypto, there is no regulator. If you buy unlisted shares, well, the regulator can't do anything, right? You bought it from a wrong person and you bought a wrong product. So if you are buying the product, ask whom can I turn to if something goes wrong. For example, let's say there's a life insurance policy which is not paying. What can you do? You can go to the company, you can write to the company, once, twice, thrice, asking them to reconsider, asking them to put it through the committee, ask them to send a letter or a notice to the managing director. After that, you can go to the ombudsman, and after that you can go to the IRDA, right? So you have this line of command which you can go to. Similarly, in a mutual fund, you can go and write a letter to the MD, to the grievance officer, right? And then if things don't work out, you can still go to SEBI. Similarly, if you don't know where this product is headed, what this product is, you don't understand whether you need it, you do not understand the risk in it, and you do not even understand who is the regulator, this is just fantastic reasons to stay away from the product. Staying away from a bad product which you don't understand will save you a lot of money. Like those people in Tamil Nadu now who lost 15,000 crores in some kind of chit fund, or somebody who said, I'll give you 10% per month, right? When somebody tells you this, I've done a video, so please look at it, saying, well, if it's too good to be true, it's not true. Thank you.